Welcome. We are live again, and today we want to talk about the book of Numbers, how the book of Numbers signifies end times. Remember, the Bible that talks about the end time, although in other secret societies like the Illuminati, the Freemasonry, they might also know the time of the end time, what might come. But once you see them, they mostly relate to what the Bible says. You see, because to them, the Christos, the Christ, Jesus Christ, is something they don't what archetype it represent, the light of it. You see, but we know that Jesus Christ is straight from the Bible, and looking at the Old Testament, we have Isaiah, we have Genesis. In the beginning of the creation, God created He created the earth and all the animals in it. But the human was the first to be created, and He created a human in His image. That is what Genesis 1 says. And He created a man in His image, a woman. Remember, the man in the Genesis doesn't represent as a man because you have this. Now we have developed that we have sex. No, it means everything that exists, all powerful, all knowing. You see, it can be a woman. You see, and a human can be all powerful, can be all knowing. So if it's all knowing, all powerful, then it understands all the laws of feminism and masculinity. It has reached over absolute, and it has overcome all these negative and positive that are here on the planet. We are trapped in on. Then in the beginning of creation, that was called a man. It was part of nothingness. It was coming from nothingness. But before the nothingness coming out, thrown into the creation of God, that is because remember He said we were created from the man, and the Spirit now was poured us to us, and that Spirit that God poured out is now the nothingness, that the soul. Some they call the heart, but if you tell a doctor the heart, you will say that my heart was, I was feeling something in my heart, and or you say, no, I wasn't. The visualization, you are relating something to do with the brain. He's going to tell you, no, the heart is only pumps blood, and it has conduction system that helps it in the pumping of blood. See, but you are not going to be explained of what the soul, the spirit, the intuition is all about. Because remember, it's most of the medicine, or we can say yes, medicine and nursing focuses on the avatar perspective, physiology and the anatomy, how these things relate, and how once there is a fault, how to fix the fault. That is what we focuses on much as nurses, as a doctor. Remember, I also have a profession, other professionals that I belong to. That's why I know the philosophy of some of the professions that are like teaching. It's a profession. It focuses on it, modeling you. You see, making you to be the best version of yourself, to go beyond the teacher. You see. So let's look at to the book of Numbers, how it signifies the end times, and we have just get the verses straight from it's Numbers 1, and it's straight from the book of Numbers. So what the article says, we are able now to share the stream. I'm no longer putting it on the CIA documents, because that is where you have known what the CIA documents are. But what do you have to focus? It's a brain synchronicity, because we want is brain synchronicity, embracing left hemispheric function of the brain and right hemispheric function of the brain. Once you have done that, then coming all those together, in the end, the development, even the technology. Just look at nowadays, we are talking about quantum computing. It's all part of the you and the brain synchronicity, your learning and level of understanding, how cautious you are, how hyper aware you are. It all attribute to that on how you are relating all these facts. So let's look into it, what it is all about. That is the most important thing we are going to look on today. This is from Numbers 1 verse 1 up to 46. It's talk about the same things, or about the end times. And it's all about the numbers. So let's start. What is the book of Numbers? Verse 1, what the book of Numbers says. So remember, we use, as we are sharing, we use this. Yes, and we, yeah, I hope on this you can see me clearly. You can see me clearly that this is the book of Numbers. So let's focus now. Yeah, this is the book of Numbers, and the for you to find the website. This is King James version. Always remember. So the New King James version, and the website, just in case if you want the website, is BibleGateway.com. Passage stroke search numbers stroke 2101 3 46 version, and the NIV, that is the new version, that is the new international version, that is new international version, and it's part of the King James version. But in every old book, if you just go to the verses, you are going to find the same information. It's not because it has been uploaded on the internet. It has been, someone have uploaded it and they give it a name, then it means the content of the have been ordered. No. Remember, the Bible is going to be the Bible. It's going to be the way it is from now up to the future. Why? Because the verses are what reflect the truth. So what someone have come up with a new version, it means he have just taken the same Bible, the Bible verses. If he have relate like philosophy, so like what I'm saying right now, that the verses in the Bible tell us about this, but because we have involved, then this applies to this for us, our archetype, our brain to relate and see things clearly. Because just think of book of Numbers. How many numbers do we have? But this verse is going to show you the a tick on how you have to use your brain, think, and involve as a spiritual being. So it's Numbers 1 verse 1 up to 46, and the topic is cessance. So Numbers 1 says, the Lord spoke to Moses in the tent of meeting in the desert of Sinai. Remember the time when Moses conquered the Egyptians and he wanted to take them to Canaan. In the process, before he reached Canaan, he went through the Mount of Sinai, where Moses was going there to pray. And when he was praying there, it was the place where he was communicating to God. And there are a lot of prophetical signs that he was seeing on the Mount Sinai. And on the journey to Israel, he also went through a lot of things, but the topic is census. And for you to look up to the world today, census are conducted almost every year, the way. Like for now, in short, for now, we all calculate number of birth and the number of death every year for us to, for people, the government and the world and statistics are uploaded sometimes on the internet for people to know that how far we have gone with it in dealing with it, mortality rates and the morbidity rates and the birth rates and the population at large. So all this to be encoded, that's why the book of Numbers is there. You see, it's now all the why we have numbers in the Bible, and the one of the verses talk about the census itself. You can't know how many people, how the population, you can't know the area if you don't haven't understand it. Census is part of statistics. It's mathematics somewhere, somehow. But we are talking about Moses. The Bible talked about the Moses who wanted to take people to Israel, and he conducted census because he counted people while going to Mount Sinai. So in the tent of meeting in the desert of Sinai on the first day of the second month of the second year after the Israelites came out of Egypt, he said, take a census of whole Israelites community by their claim, families, listing every man by name, one by one. So this now was specifically targeted gender, only men, one by one. Remember, in the past, women were not much focused in a community. They are looking at someone who is there to bear children and take care of the household, while men were looking for the one who are warriors who are able to fight for another nation or fight for with another man, because the countries were at war. Looking at the colors we have, the differences we have, less tribe, claim, family. So the world was at war. So even Moses, when he was going to Egypt, he just focused on Israelites so that he can bring them home to Canaan, where their true origin is, where the true Israelite is. See, so if someone is trying to bring you home while you have already made a home where you are, everything was good with you, and someone is bringing conveniences, then you came in with a question of who is this guy? Why is wrong with him? You want me to leave out the things that have surrounded me? Why? You see, all that comes in, and stress comes in. That's why fight comes in. That's why those who are of high listening, they come up with solution to handle those conflicts that happens within before they project out. Because you might think, no, I have to replace this shadow, but in the long run, it will going to come out. So you and Aaron are to count according to their division, all the men in Israel who are 20 years or more and able to serve in the army. So now Aaron, remember Aaron was his brother. So God is telling him, you have to count every man who are 20 years old or more. So he even give a age of who are supposed to be counted. The by then they were starting at 20 years old. But now, because they were looking at the who is older, who. But right now we say no. Everyone who is older is 18 years. Once you have reached 18, you are grown up because you have passed through the teenage age. So they look, right now we know that if someone is 18 years, he is responsible for everything that he is doing, and some of it he might be answerable. Some of things he might not be answerable. But by then it was starting at 20 years when every man was supposed to be counted, to be known in the community, so that he might be the army or soldier. He might join this army, not he might be the army, he might be a soldier, but join the army by then. Remember the journey for him from Egypt to Israel, they have to fight, and it was what was really happening in the Bible. So one man from each tribe, each of them the head of his one man and the head of his family is to help you. These are the names of the men who are to assist you. So he said, and these are the. So it says, one man from each tribe, each of them the head of his family is to help you. These are the names of the men who are to assist you. So God is telling Moses, you see, that when you are conducting these census, remember at the beginnings, the Lord spoke to Moses in the tent of meeting in the desert of Mount Sinai. It might happen, it was happening in the, he said we don't know how he was, the mode of communication, but this is words from God direct to Moses. And he said, one man from each tribe, each of them, the head of his family is going to help. So it's like every firstborn, God tells Moses that for you to be, your successor to be successful, you have to use every firstborn from each tribe, each family, each clan. You see? And that head of family is the one who is going to choose the right one. You see? So, and it continues to say, and these are the names of the men who are to assist you. And he was giving the names who are going to assist Moses. Just that is to say, Lord knows the people who Israelites. That's why he was able to list all the names of the firstborn from every tribe, from every clan, from every family. That these are the names that are going to come out, and these names are going to choose the most convenient, the most important person to help him in counting of census. That is to say, who is going to be able to lead that. If we have counted one from this family, and we are going to count two on another family, because we don't know how educated education was in that time. But these are the wisdom, the knowledge that was given to Moses. So he said, from Reuben, Eliza, son of Seda; from Simeon, Shram, son of Zerishadiah; from Judah, Nashon, son of Amamada; from Isaac, Nathael, son of Zeah. So you can see it's from the tribe of Zebulun, the family of Eliab, son of Heron. Every tribe was listed, every clan was listed, and every family was listed. And when Moses went to look for this census, it was easy for him. Why? Because the people who are going to assist him were already very and they didn't count the whole planet. He counted only the Israelites, the ones who are going to Canaan. But for you, if you are crazy enough, you want to know the number of population that your country holds, then you can just go to Minister of Health and find those that handle the those of environment. They are going to give you the list by that. By now, the whole your whole country have this source of population. They might even give you population of neighboring country. They might even giving the total population of the whole Africa. They might giving you the total population of the whole world and other countries of what the population is, depending on your choice and why you want the information, why you want to have the statistics. But once the technology have improved, once you search on the internet, we get if total population, but the time now, we are in 2025, you might get the statistics that were uploaded in 2004, 2012, 2016. But for you to get current result of the population, it's hard because on everyday basis, we know number of people who are being born from the hospital. We know number of people who are dying from the hospital. We know majority of people, the cause of the most deaths that are happening, the cause of the neonatal deaths, and Minister of Health in every sector, in every government, in every country, in every state. They are fighting. Every president on the planet is fighting hard to reduce number of neonatal death and mortality death, and maximize quality of life and increase life expectancy. As once we are doing so, then that's why we are directing ourselves to achieve immortality. Because always remember the other is the same as you. So once you have lost your loved one, something you know that have been left taken from you that was supposed to be with you, enjoy, thrive, live together. But once it has taken away from you, you feel sad, you feel not worth it. That's why all everything relate. That's why we need to be part with and parcel of each and every soul. We have to be together, join hands together. So as we are still continuing with the CSS and the so from Benjamin Abidai son of Gideon, from Dan Isaiah son of from Asher, from and these were the men appointed. And verse 16 it says these were the men appointed from the community and the leader of their ancestral tribes. So you can see it targeted their tribe, the community that were appointed, their tribe, their families were all target for them to understand of what is really happening in their community. They were the heads of the clan of Israel, and those were the heads of clan of Israel. That's why for others to understand it was more easier. So Moses and Aaron took these men whose names had been specified, and they called the whole community together on the first day of the second month. The people registered their ancestors by their clan and family, and the men 20 years old or more were listed by name, one by one, as the Lord commanded Moses. And so he counted them in the desert of Sinai. From the desert of Reuben, the firstborn son of Israel. And all the men 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name one by one according to the records of their clan and families. And the number from the tribe of Reuben was 46,500. You can see. But then the population was 46,500. But right now, if you try to calculate, we go up to million. So all this is planned for the Lord, for him to know how the population and how he's going to uh, handle the population from the descendants of Gabi. They were also, let's just list out every clan of who they were, and all the men 20 years old and more who were able to serve in the army were listed by name according to the record of their clan and families. And the number of the tribe of Gabi was 45,650. You see? From Gad, 46,000. Reuben, 46,000. From tribe of Judah, 74,000. 74,600. From tribe of Issachar, 54,400. So you can see this is the population that had this small number from what I have read. And for provision, God have also need to look into all these numbers. From Zebulun, 57,400. From Ephraim, 40,500. This is the list from the one listed was from Ephraim. From Manasseh, it was 32,200. From the descent, so it is all the men 20 years old, more who were, but we excluding children. And from descendants of Benjamin, there were 35,400. From descendants of Dan, there were 62,700. Asher, 41,500. Naphtali, 53,400. And you can continue with all the tribes. So you can see how important the census was by then from every country that God commanded them to do for the good of the people, for them to know themselves. The thing there need to, because remember we say, if you will lose someone is part of you, we all feel sad. We don't want, that's why we don't want to be lost. Even if you can check into the goals of the secret society, it's all about to maximizing life for good. You see, maximizing quality of life. That is looking at the avatar perspective and the spiritual perspective. You can look at the when Newton was looking at the avatar, but he was calculating things in terms of Newton's law of motion in terms of numbers, but he was believing in atoms. So that is to say, he didn't get much into new paradigm. That is that the reality is all mind, is all spirit, is all a soul that govern reality. That's why they said the Discord, he was the one who was able to dream even in numbers, but he was the one who invented Cartesian plane, the plane that is used to calculate coordinates. You see, and right now And so the network was tripping. And right now we use the map. The map will help us to calculate. We use contourize on the map, and we can locate every place, every city, and we can even locate every. Right now, the map is able to locate every biggest building, like the markets, hospitals, central hospitals, especially uh, schools. Mapo is able to do all of that. Like that is we are talking about locating the location. We are talking about the map we use on our phone. Is able, you can locate if in the other country, just say Sasastrik, you can even zoom use on using your map and know this is the Cape Town, this is the Johannesburg, but you can't go further. Once you go further in Cape Town, you can zoom where the central hospital is. Is it in Cape Town or is not in Cape Town? And other important features that are there and have been, the map has been able to uh, upload. You see? But once we go further, we are going to be able to even using the same knowledge of coordinates and locate every place, every land that this is the land and is from so, and these are the demarcations called the land. Everyone who have bought uh, a place, a land, we know that majority now the legit, whether to chief be the witness and the or the district officer, district officer. So once those are being in coordinates, they take a picture and it means the press draws to you and the coordinates are taken so that people can use to know where they are, why they are here. And census helps in building up of how many we are, how much we want, how much we need. All that helps in this process. Yeah, that is that to say I wanted to put. So in any time today I have said we correct this birthplace, death rate. That is the ID nationality. We is part of the national for you to know where you were born from, when where you came from. They are done during the time you are. If you haven't done your registration, please do, because there are a lot of benefits that you get from after registering from your country. There are even free services. There are a lot of free services you get after being registered. Yeah, that is that I wanted to focus today. Bye. So see you in another stream.